lot of people say it's whirligigs, and the most of them calls it folk art because everything I build is life size, and just like ducks, dogs, or whatever, they're life size. They're not little stuff, they're all big. Became disabled about 5 years ago, and I got on my knees. I asked the Lord to give me wisdom to do something, and a squirrel went by, and I built the squirrel, and then a cat came by, and I built the cat, and from that day on, I can build any kind of animal by picturing out in my head. Well, when the wind blows, I got metal bushings and everything, and it's easy to turn, and when the wind blows, everything's in motion. It don't take too much wind for it to take hold, but everything, it looks like they're alive off from it.
Several miles away at the Loris drugstore, one can find a pretty fair collection of original Strickland works.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was his art was indicative of, our culture that we grew up around here with the hunting and the tobacco, showing how they harvest tobacco with the mules and the cows and everything with the farm life, typical area. And so I thought I'd try to put some of his work on display here in the store. And I think he appreciated that, and the people really enjoyed looking at it.
That's some of the first stuff that I started building is there. He's probably got 30 or 40 different items. And he's a real good friend. He's the one that, if I'd get to where I'd slack off on building, he said, Benny, keep on going because you've got a good thing going, And he's real close to me, and he's the one that encouraged me right on when I'd kind of slack off on building. He'd always encourage me.
Well, I think he is a true example of what we know as a folk artist, I really like Benny. I appreciate his work. He's got a keen eye for creativity, and the way he can think up these things and execute them, it fascinates me. I've had many opportunities to sell these things, but they're not for sale, they're just for display. I hope to enjoy them for many years to come, and got them here for the public to enjoy as well.
Sometimes I'd have 40 to 50 different items out here. I'd build them, and they wouldn't be out here long, but I'd build a whole yard full of stuff here, but people would see it, and there'd be cars, sometimes 15 and 20 cars a day would stop by.
Those were the old days when Benny's house stood prominently alongside the highway. Since then, however, the state put in an overpass, and now, unless you know it's there for sure, you could miss this folk art treasure.
Right side the highway is where I used to live here, but now they put the overhead bridge and all, and people has to look down to see me. My mule and man out yonder is that's a landmark kind of. I can go anywhere and tell them where I live, and they'll say, well, I've seen that. I know right where you're at. It's kind of a landmark for the community because it's been here a long time.
The other landmark, which Strickland refuses to sell, is his crucifix.
That's the one I value the most, but it's been there for about 5 or 6 or 7 years. It's been there a long time, and that's one reason I put it there. I says I'm gonna have something in the front yard to let the Lord know that I've not forgot him either.